Yo, what's going on, guys? Recently, with me hitting 100 subs, which is absolutely crazy, I decided to mix things up and show you guys what it is I do every day. Well, every week, you know, very similar things. But I can't wait for this. Let's just get right in. Enough of the schmingle. Let me show you how it's done. So the first part of recording any content is coming up with content. Coming up with content is probably the hardest part of the entire thing. Usually I don't find it that hard because I just play games. I just play whatever. Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to my desktop and the infinite chain of mirrors here. So what I do to record my content is I use OBS. I would say recording with OBS is very straightforward, but it has given me quite a few complications in the past, such as recording output and stuff like encoders and whatnot, and it really is complicated sometimes just to get everything going. But the biggest advantage I would say of using OBS is, well, you can't really see it very well in here, let me just change that, is multi-track editing. So I'll show you what that looks like when I pop this into editor. Now after I record everything, which usually poses quite a few struggles as you've seen in the past, it leads to the next step and the most grindy step of probably the entire process: editing. Welcome to DaVinci Resolve. I use DaVinci Resolve and not Premiere Pro because of a few reasons. Mainly because I would say they have better audio, they have insane color grading, they have a really cool fusion system, which I suck at, and they have so much more. They have entire media. The delivery page is beautiful and crisp. It's very, I would say, user-friendly, and it looks a lot more modern than Premiere Pro, in my opinion. But like, if you use Premiere Pro, I'm not going to shame on you because that's the most popular choice. I would say though, DaVinci Resolve is the best free option. I use a free video editor for all my editing, and there's no limitations on this, except maybe if you were to go to Open Effects, and some of these I know are like not going to work, but like they're obscure things that you would only need in specific cases. And even if you don't have the preset, you can go and do it in Fusion anyway. It's just slightly more complicated. Well, it's a lot more complicated, but if you know how, it'll just take you a little bit of extra time. Benefits of this is it's free. Now let me show you how this actually works. Let's just take the recording we just recorded. Let's just chuck this in here. Boom. And so now we can see the multi-track editing coming into play. And so this is what I mean by multi-track editing. Here we have my voice, the microphone input recorded on one track, and any other audio, which there probably wasn't much, on the desktop when recording this was recorded to this track. So now if I want to mute myself during a section of this audio or mute this during this section of audio, I can do that. If it was all in one track, I can't edit out one. So that is the biggest benefit of using OBS. Editing with this is super simple, especially once you figure out how to use keyboard shortcuts, because it makes everything so much simpler. Chain of mirrors here, and I can just press S to instantly cut things and cut out sections I don't want, you know. Boom, boom, boom. You know how editing works. I don't really know how to demonstrate editing. If you don't know how editing works, this is not like,
oh, here's how I do things in extreme detail.
But generally the rules I stick to when editing content. Rule number 1, make the general cuts of the content. Cut out stuff you don't want first. Then step number 2 is adding any effects, anything that might make it slightly funny or something. And step number 3, add any video elements, and don't forget your end screen. That is what I pretty much stick to. That's how it works. I'm still getting good at editing, so I can't give you a lot of tips because I still kind of am not the best at it myself. But that's the fun part about it. I enjoy it because you're learning a practical skill that you can use over and over again. Okay, so now that you've edited up your video, what do you do next? Well, upload it. This part is probably the most fun part of the entire process. here I am in YouTube Studio, and when I want to upload a video, I'm literally just going to press upload video. Then you'll select your file, and this is where things get fun. So you're going to have things such as title, and then you're going to need to write a description. I'm not going to get into that. Then any playlist. No, it's not made for kids. You can learn. I'm not going to explain everything in detail. You're going to add your tags, your video language, etc., etc. It's all just a lot of options that you got to fill out. Then you add video elements such as end screens, which you see on most of my videos. Maybe cards, which I rarely use because, whatever. And then it checks if you infringe copyright. And you can choose who can see the video. It's pretty straightforward. Probably the most fun part about this is creating a thumbnail. So let me show you how to do that in Photoshop. Now, like I said, I don't use Premiere Pro, but just because I don't use Premiere Pro, it doesn't mean I'm a hater against Adobe. In fact, I actually quite like Adobe for a lot of reasons. But anyway, let's just create a new thumbnail. They have this default template for thumbnails. And what I'll usually do is more or less square these, make these square here on the edges. Just going to do a rough job. Sometimes I mathematically calculate it, sometimes I eyeball it, and we'll just drag these to be square. Then I will take the background layer and I will dye it blue. Then you'll have whatever image you want, clickbait, whatever. You design that. And I think Adobe Photoshop is a great way to do that. But that being said, if you don't want to pay, which I completely understand, I used to use Pixlr. This is what I used to use. This is a free online web source thing, majiggy, and it's pretty good. So it has most of your tools on here, and it works like a charm. There's nothing really to trash on this. It's a free, it works in your web. Like, it's not even, you don't even have to download something to use this. It's completely free. You can use it like literally on school Chromebooks if you want to mess around. It's got tons of tools on here. But for making thumbnails, this works perfectly fine. It's called Pixlr, if I didn't say. And don't use Pixlr X. Use Pixlr E. Because if you use Pixlr X, it'll give you a dumbed down version with just basic tools. So once you create your thumbnail, you simply upload it and boom, you post your video. Yep. If you're looking for specs of the stuff I use, you can go check out my computer build. All the specs of that computer are in the description card. Somewhere around here. But then also, I have other peripherals. So here we have my beautiful, crisp, mechanical keyboard. Guys, I'm kidding. It's just like a default Dell. This keyboard I actually really like. It's kind of quiet, and that's what I like about it. I like silent things, which you can see from my mouse. You're not hearing nothing from that. I'll put links to, well, everything that could be bought in the description. Then we have this old monitor. This belonged to my parents' old computer. They have a different one. It is the HP 2338H. I don't know. I looked it up. It's overpriced for how good it is. It's just a 1080 60 frames. Basic monitor. Then we have this Fifine microphone. Now this thing is pretty good for a budget microphone. This is just a USB microphone. I don't have an audio interface right now, and my camera is zoning out like crazy. Bro, I will figure out what model this is later and link it in the description. I have no idea. I guess it's probably around 30 bucks, but I genuinely have no clue. Before, a long time before, I was using the Toner TC777. It is not a good mic. Do not buy this budget mic. There's a lot better stuff you can get for the same price. Also, to record Xbox content, I have the HD60S capture card. This is a really good capture card, actually, and it's sometimes slightly tricky to get working, but for the most part, it's a very straightforward capture card. Highly recommend if you're willing to pay the price. It's really expensive nowadays. I think it's something like over $100 when I last saw it on Amazon. When I bought it, I don't think it was anywhere near that much. that's pretty much everything I do. If you have any questions, maybe something I didn't answer, I'm sure after I go back editing this, I'm going to realize, oh, I should have done this or this. Ask in the comments. I will answer. I will get back to you. I don't get many comments. Anyways, I'm going to have to see you guys later. It's been fun. I hope this was slightly interesting. Thank you guys so much for 100 subs. You guys have been amazing. Until next time, Eli out.